but he'll say I'm right.
Coming up, as the tide marches relentlessly on, we race to find evidence of the infamous penal institute, Millbank Prison, before it's lost forever.
Brooksy, focus on that.
And Brooksy and I take our potentially prison-related finds to the bearded lord of the foreshore, Jeff Egan.
There's about 3 arguments that it's not necessarily what you say, but I think the weight of evidence is that it's not.
You made a right brick of yourself, Owen.
You poo-pooed the brick.
I did, yeah.
Mud god Steve Brooker and I have been scouring the Thames foreshore in search of evidence of one of London's greatest prisons, the infamous Millbank. Now, considering the site of the prison took up a staggering 16 acres, we're really confident we're going to come up with something. So far, though, all I've turned up is a bit of brick that Brooksy says definitely maybe could have possibly been from the prison. Anyway, with time running out, we need to find something a bit more concrete than a brick.
Johnny, yeah.
It's better be good, Steve. Hey.
All right, it's a boring stud.
It's a press stud.
No, it could actually be a coffin stud. These are... No, from the prison.
Oh, right, OK.
Yeah.
What is a coffin stud, Steve?
Sometimes, you know, when you see the material inside...
Yeah.
To actually hold the
They
material
wouldn't have had that for prisoners. Are you nuts? This is a plain box. Steve, do you know what this is? This is turned into the Mudmen's speculation special.
Yeah, I can't always find good stuff.
Do you know what I want to dig for? Fact, Steve, fact.
Let's go for it. OK. So, of course, you know, anything that catches your eye...
Yeah. Whoa.
It's only a button.
Only a button? Steve, if I found that, that would be my best find today. What is it? It's got the crown on it. It's an official button, probably from... What does it say on it? Metropolitan Police.
Well, that's what I actually thought it was, and that's why I'm not too interested in it at all, because you have quite a few of them.
OK.
It says convict department.
You liar.
No, I'm not. I actually thought it was...
You're kidding me.
I just thought it was a police button.
It actually does say convict department. We have found a remnant of... Well, I say we. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Brooksy, focus on that.
But before we get excited, yes...
Found today, actual time...
It is from a prison, but is it from Millbank?
It's been found where a prison was, saying convict department. I don't think it's from MI6, Brooksy. I don't think it's from the Houses of Parliament. How about we just safely assume this is, slip it in the bucket, say no more. Do you know, I think that's in its way, that's one of the best finds we've had, because it really is something that no longer exists. This bit of riverbank, this is everything you sort of promised me.
I come up trumps.
I think slip it in the bucket, mate. That's absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, though, it really is. They talk about a needle in a haystack, but actually, this is bigger than any haystack. You found a button on a beach. It should be the new expression. Like looking for a button on the Thames foreshore.
Bounty and Bucket, we're off to Mud HQ and Grand Wizard of Mud, Jeff Egan. All you need to know about Dr. Jeff is that he's sported a full beard since he was 11, he works at the British Museum, the knowledge stored in his memory banks makes Wikipedia look like a leaflet, and he's the perfect man to end the speculation and give me and Brooksy some much-needed education.
So here's our Millbank hoard. Bigger items we've got from Millbank. Less of them, but bigger. Jeff, what do you think of what we found here?
There's, again, a great range. Some of them may well relate to the prison, but the majority don't.
OK.
You've got some things that are very, very recent indeed. I mean, this past year or so, they were probably
really?
Thrown into the river.
As recent as that?
As recent as that.
OK.
But you've shown another aspect of the river. It's not just the past that gets in. This dumping of material is constantly going in. And it's happening today, it will happen tomorrow, and it's for a variety of reasons, not just getting rid of rubbish, as we'll see from some of these items.
I've actually found a lot of the sort of more modern things, or things that I've found that I remember from my lifetime, have actually, you know, woken up some memories, you know, that were gone. À la recherche de temps perdu. For instance, this is the United Dairy's 3rd pint bottle of milk, which of course I used to get every single day at school.
As did I. Yes, I remember.
I think it was something Mrs. Thatcher actually took away this, which is where she was Thatcher Milk Snatcher.
That's right.
And this is United Dairy's one. I remember getting these. Do you remember these, Steve?
Yep. Mine was always warm. There was always that taste.
Yes. And you used to get them, so there was like that much in the end became cream in it, didn't it? You used to get those old ones. Yeah, but I've forgotten all about those. I mean, it's not a big find, but it brought back memories there. What else we got? Steve, over here, your bricks.
Now, of course, we've got the adamantine clinker registered brick.
Yeah.
Now, I know that, of course, Millbank, a very sort of like yellowy brick going on there, and there were thousands of them. Remember, 16 acres of these going on.
Yeah.
So, of course, we found 3 on the day. We've got one that's got nothing on it.
Yeah, which is mine.
And, of course, this one has actually got adamantine clinker registered on it as well.
I mean, do we know how old these are?
They've got to be 19th or 20th century.
So that's exactly the right time for Millbank, which, of course, built in 1816, demolished in 1890. All the bricks went somewhere, and this was a 16-acre site, so that's a lot of brick. What do we think?
Well, adamantine means very strong, but we need the proof that these are indeed from the prison, if that's the case.
But if I was building a clink, then I'd want my bricks to be adamantine to stop my cons from getting out. So these are strong. And presumably that is the origin of the word, the clink, right? Or is that just a sound locks made?
Clink is a particular prison in London which was called the Clink, and it gave its name, like Bridewell, to many other prisons and a lot of other places.
OK. And what do you think there, Steve?
I still believe they are. I reckon I think about 1850 on this, 1840, so it's going to be halfway through. So maybe they were used later. But it's just that, always saying about these smoky yellow bricks in the whole of the prison. So, I actually believe on this, could be flooring.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling it could be flooring, I really do. I know it's beveled there, but I do think flooring.
Well, it's a good hypothesis, and particularly if one face is worn, then you may well be right about the flooring.
So what about this?
Well, a disc with a hole in it and a lot of stamped letters and...
OK, can I just say, at first, I thought, that might be an eye-hole cover for a cell door.
Good idea.
Because back then we had glass in them, so it had been quite a big aperture sloping down, and I really thought that was like that.
I'm with you.
But I think there's markings on it that probably contradict that. I don't know.
But there's writing on both sides, so that's rather against it being a flat put on a door.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
And what do you think, Steve?
That's exactly what I felt.
I remember somebody on the foreshore was convinced that was a spy hole.
It's the eye-hole cover for Spur 7, cell 026, and that eye-hole cover would have gone right above it, above the door, so people can look in the cells, and that's exactly what that is.
All very well powering up to Jeff now, isn't it? Now you know that it's not.
Listen.
No.
You made a right brick of yourself, Owen.
You poo-pooed the brick.
I did, yeah.
And then now, all of a sudden, you find out that that's not a spy hole.
Yeah, I know it's not, but it did really look like it at the time, and it was a disc down there, and I did get caught up in it. OK, what else have we got that you like, Jeff?
Well, there's this glass bottle here. It's an ink bottle because it's got 2 grooves here on which you rested your pen when you were...
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great, isn't it?
When you had it closed.
Yeah. So how old? That's Victorian, you're saying?
Victorian, late Victorian. It's a very crude bottle for that date, but that's all that was needed to contain your ink on your table.
So is there anything here, Jeff, that is definitively, undeniably, indisputably from the prison?
Well, this object here, this is a button, of course, a uniform button, and it's pretty definitive because it says convict department. And
Steve.
The crown.
Yes.
And it's got the crown of Queen Victoria. So that says it all. That's got to be from the prison.
It's such a small trophy, but let's hold it aloft in triumph, Steve. Well, actually, it's yours to hold up, Steve. I'll present.
I should point to you.
OK. Silly fingers.
Thank you.
No, well done, chaps.
There we go. Mudman! Mudman. So, Steve, does that make you feel good then, actually, unearthing that? Because that was a hell of a find, that. And that's a tiny thing to find on a beach, and it actually is something from Millbank Prison, which really was our mission in this show. So, do you feel good about that? You must do.
Yeah, I feel good. But I also want to run with the brick as well. I feel good on both things.
But why does the brick excite you more than that?
Because the amount of them that are down there. Yes, I know what that is.
What are you gonna do?
That's from the prison. But
build a shed out of them.
I may do. I may floor the shed with the brick from the prison.
Brilliant, nice one. I like that.
But yeah, I'm happy with that because, of course, we have the provenance of it.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It really is.
It's good.
And I was there when you found it. That's an exciting thing.
Yeah, we were partners on that one.
Yeah, we were together. Very exciting. It really was.
Our finds from the foreshore have certainly left us to think all things clink. So it's time for Brooksy and me to go our separate ways and delve deeper into the world of crime and punishment.
I'm standing outside the Central Criminal Court, the Old Bailey in London. They've been sending people down from here since 1584. Now, obviously, today, you've got the choices. You can go to open prisons, semi-open prison, local prisons, high-security prisons, maximum security prisons. There's a range of custodial establishments. But back in the day, where did they send them down to? That's what I intend to find out.
I'm meeting up with author and former prison officer Edward Marston on the old site of Newgate Prison.
Where did the concept of prisons actually come from? When did prisons start?
Well, the first record we have of a prison was Alfred the Great, so you're going back to the 9th century.
Yeah.
That was in Wessex. It's actually in his law code. But the prisons in medieval times weren't the prisons that we know. They weren't places where you held people for punishment. You were held there before the punishment was given.
Oh, no. Tell me a little about then what happened to Newgate Prison, because Newgate Prison and the Old Bailey used to literally be the prison there, Old Bailey there, and they had that relation. It's not hard to see the relationship between the two.
There are three Newgates. There's the medieval prison, which is the one that Dick Whittington knew, and he was so shocked by the way that people were treated there, he left a bequest to improve it. It was burned down in 1666 with the Great Fire of London, and it was rebuilt as one of the finest buildings in the city from outside. You had this magnificent portico and a series of wonderful statues, and people would stop and look up in wonder, but of course inside the conditions were appalling.
During the 700 years of its illustrious life, Newgate Prison housed such notable inmates as Daniel Defoe, Casanova and Captain Kidd.
The prisoners couldn't see the nice outside, they were stuck inside.
Well, that's the whole point of them,
absolutely, with dreadful conditions, appalling food, kept under the thumb of the jailers and milked for every penny they've got. And then if you go to the next century, in 1780 it was burned down again, so it was rebuilt yet again.
After the break, I visit a damp, dingy, rat-infested dungeon. Brilliant. This place has a distinctly bad vibe to it.
And I investigate the evolution of the capital's penal institutions.
Steve Brooker